Okay, in this video I'm just gonna quickly try and do some negative testing on the cluster. I again have a just a 2-node cluster here in IBM Big Insights. So I have these two machines, Hadoop 559, which is the master. It's this machine I'm on here, and then I have a VNC open to my second machine, that's Hadoop 459. That's the slave machine running in the background there. We can see deployed on 559, the master with all its stuff, and only Hadoop on 459. So we can see that both of them's healthy, both of them are started. I have again a Hive job, which is a pretty large job and does a select on 600,000 users from so it does a select and a Java execute and a few things. So if I execute that at the moment, we can see it starts off. We can see this machine gets a bit busy, but mainly what it's doing at the moment is it's sending that job off to a slave. We can see that the slave had some received data. It sent some data back. We can see it ramping up, and as we progress through the job over here, we can certainly see that it's progressing. There's the map stage, 67% done. We can see that the slave is working very hard. We can also see the heartbeat pattern over here as it sends its heartbeats. Those little bumps you see over there. And when it's finally done, there's the select. It's done, and it's finished with its data. So there it sent some of it back, and so there's the result. Very nice. The slave is done very good there. So and everything's fine in here. Let me set this to a 1-minute refresh. So in the negative test, what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to go onto this machine and I'm going to shut it down. So I'm going to go on to shutdown, but I'm not going to shut it down right away. I'm going to shut it down as soon as we get some way into this job over here. So I'm going to start my my same SQL query I just did, and it's going along. It's gonna start in the map reduce. We can again see this machine starting to take some load, but then I'm gonna hit shutdown and it's gonna disappear. So what I can see on the second machine, of course, which you can't see now because it's killed some, the operating system's busy going down. That machine is now it's in a shutdown. This job seems to be continuing, but that could be, the second machine's not completely down yet, or for some reason it's still busy working. If we look at this machine, however, we can see it's certainly taking on some load. There's the result. It's come back. The second machine is still in its shutdown at the moment, but it is only gone halting system now. The system is completely down, the slave. So I'm going to run this again. So this time we can see it going, and gets to this point, and I believe this is probably the point where it's, Hadoop is now looking, saying, hey, hang on, this job needs to go to a slave, and I can't seem to find the slave. So this is a very small test with only 2 nodes. Of course, if there were multiple nodes, the job would definitely start on those, but with only 2, I'm guessing that it's it's waiting for a timeout value at the moment, and then finds and says, well, I guess the slave's not there, so I'm going to have to process it. So you can see that the processor spiking over here, and the map reduce job continues as as it would. Slightly delayed, of course, because it was waiting for some time for the slave. And there it goes. So in the meantime, I'm going to start my slave up again on the second machine. I'm going to boot that up. If I go to my Big Insights console here, it says, hey, there's only one node. I don't have a second node. My second node has disappeared. The job, however, is still continuing over here, and we can see that it's definitely this main machine or the master that's processing it. It's come to the reduce part. Map part's nearly done. The reduce part's nearly done. And there's the result. It took 115 seconds, but the result's there, and it's gone. The other machine is now booting up. It is at busy starting its networking, and so hopefully soon I can show you that machine again. We can see that the console is refreshing over here with its minute refresh, and it still claims there's only one server. I am going to log into the second server, the slave. Let's come up now, and I'm going to try and connect to it again. And by the way, you'll see in the background it has refreshed. It shows that one node is down, other one started. Both of them are healthy, but one stopped, and here we can see the stop node, and that's that 459. 559 is up. So I'm gonna try and get to that machine quickly. There it is. That machine's up and running. I'm going to pull up its monitor here so we can see when it's doing some work. There it is. It's ready. So back to our first machine. I'm now going to hit start all nodes over here. We'll notice on our second machine we'll see some action happening as it starts up Hadoop on the second node. And we will wait for that for a few seconds here while it's starting up. And our console's gone back to 2 healthy, 2 ready, both started. So of course in a bigger cluster you'll see many servers down here, all of them available or not available. So again, I'm going to go and run my same job. We might see a little bit of traffic here as these two sync up. I think that was it sending its state and all of that for the HDFS to sync up and get ready again. Gonna run my script again, and looking at our local machine, we can see it gets pretty busy. Looking at the remote machine, nothing's really happened there yet. We're waiting for our job to kick off here. We can see that it's taken some time to this time get ready and deploy the file. It seemed to have done so, and it seems to be processing some data over here. And looking at the remote machine, it seems to be receiving some processing. It received some data, and it's busy processing. We're back, our job is back in the map reduce stage, and that machine is part of a slave machine, is now part of a cluster again and working. So what I've shown here is a 2-node cluster. While we're running a job, one of the nodes falls out and disappears out of a cluster. The job continues. We put that node back, we bring it online, we run the job again, and it rebalances and uses the node again. So I would say this is very, very fault tolerant and working very good as intended. Thank you, and we'll see you later.